I am functional medicine practitioner Claudine Francois. I empower women entrepreneurs by sharing solutions for health on my show, Healthy Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine. Hello, and welcome to Healthy Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine. If you are here to learn how to navigate burnout successfully with Doctor of Psychology Caroline Iscovitz, you are in the right place. Now, many of you know that I am a functional medicine practitioner, and if you are a driven woman seeking to reclaim boundless energy and radiant health, I invite you to book a free call with me. Let's uncover the mysteries of your health and create a personalized plan for your journey to vitality. So visit the link below or schedule your free call and start thriving today. Now let's get to today's show. Today's guest is Dr. Caroline Iscovitz. She is a dedicated professional in therapy, coaching, and now having moved into the solar and social media spheres, Dr. Caroline Iscovitz draws from personal experiences overcoming burnout. Can anyone relate to that? I know you can. With a deep understanding of the signs and an unwavering commitment to well-being, Dr. Caroline shares invaluable insights to help others navigate burnout and build resilience across diverse professional landscape. So let me bring her up and you can meet this amazing, amazing woman. Hello, Dr. Caroline.
Hi, how are you?
I am so great. Thank you so much for being here. And I would want to get right to it. And I'm going to ask you the first thing I ask all my guests, which is, what does a healthy, delicious lifestyle mean to you?
Well, I love this question because it really is that whole holistic approach where we're really focusing on not just what we're eating, but what we're saying to ourselves, the mental health aspect, movement, not just exercise. Because a lot of people will be like, oh, well, I don't like to exercise, but it's really movement, like yoga, meditation, anything along those lines, but also your spiritual health, every capacity of your whole well-being. It's not just one entity. So I think I really pull from that just from my own experience, but I think it's really that whole aspect of holistic approach.
That holistic approach is so key because, you know, in traditional medicine, we're thought of as, oh, you have this one problem. I'm going to look at this one area of your life/body, versus our body all works together. The mind, I mean, we have a lot of people have heard the brain gut connection, but the mind works together with the stomach, which works with the heart, which works with the lymphatic, with your hormones, with every system. So I love that you're bringing in the holistic viewpoint. That is awesome. Such a good reminder. And I want to get to your first tip, which is treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend facing similar circumstances. So this is regarding when women are in burnout, they're stressed out. I mean, give us a little bit of background on this, if you would.
Yes. Well, I think the biggest thing is having more compassion for ourselves because that is something that I lacked up until a few years ago. I was in the constant cycle of burnout. It wasn't just one time, it actually happened twice. And that's one of the reasons I left the therapy field and coaching. And now I have a better handle on it. I understand when I'm getting into that cycle, I can negate it before it becomes an issue. But I think a lot of times we are just go, 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 really in that masculine energy where we're trying to accomplish so many things, or we are focused on accomplishing a lot of things. But when we take a step back and really divulge into what am I doing on a daily basis? Am I really nurturing my mind, body, and soul? I actually saw something yesterday posted on Instagram where it was, if we just take 1 hour a day for ourselves, whether that's journaling, yoga, meditation, anything that's really fostering our overall well-being, that's only 5% of our day. 1 out of 24 hours can really make a significant impact on our daily life. So it's that really looking at what am I doing to fill my cup? Because a lot of times people I've met, worked with, myself included, my cup was always depleted. I never had extra to give to other people or myself first and foremost, and never putting myself on the top of the priority list. And that's where I think a lot of people negate, and what I've seen personally myself, as well as clients in the therapy world, as well as coaching, and now even in solar, I see people do it all the time. But
Thank you for sharing that. And I think some women hearing this might be overwhelmed at thinking, I need to find another hour in my day. And I will say, you can find maybe 15 minutes. Start with 15 minutes. Maybe find 4, 15, maybe even find 2 15-minute increments. Just try it a little bit. Because some, like you said, we just try to go, 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 and do to the point of exhaustion. And I want to bring up this book that you shared with us, which is The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. Actually, it's all called Imperfection or Imperfect. The Gifts of Imperfection.
Something like that.
We'll link it below so you can find it. But it's I love Brene Brown. If anyone hasn't followed her, she's been on a bajillion TED Talks. I don't know how many books she has right now.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
But she's fantastic. So what do you like about this book, The Gifts of Imperfection?
Yes, the first time I read it, because I've read it probably 10 times, when I first started my self-love journey and being able to really pour back into myself, but understanding it's okay not to be perfect and accepting flaws, because just like what the hour seems like a lot of time to take out when you don't even have an hour, but looking at the small increments of that and knowing, okay, well, just acknowledging ourselves for the things that we have done, because I don't think we do that enough, celebrating the wins. I go to certain networking events where they're like, okay, let's focus on what was a win for this month. And we don't do it enough because we're not recognizing, wow, I did all of this. Even like as the new year starts, people are like, okay, well, I want to accomplish all these things. But looking back at, even if you just got out of bed and like got enough water that day, like recognizing the teeny tiny things. And that's what that book really fosters, and really had a better relationship with myself after reading it. And I read it at different times because I'm in a different phase of my life each time. I haven't read it in probably a year. That's on my list to reread. That's why I put it there, because it's a reminder for me just of how we are never going to be perfect, but we're perfectly imperfect, and really absorbing that and understanding each milestone that we accomplish is a win. It doesn't have to be massive. Just like I said, with the water, it's so many tiny things make such a big difference. And I couldn't recognize that because my stress levels were always like, okay, well, I need to be doing more and I need to be doing more. This isn't enough. But the book really allowed me to look at I am enough and really work on that. Obviously, other things too, but that was a big stepping stone for my journey of removing the burnout and understanding when my cycles were happening. So it was just so influential in my life, and still is to this day.
We are perfectly imperfect. I am going to highlight, underscore that. I mean, that is a great way to put it. We are perfectly imperfect, and embracing our imperfections, loving us for ourselves for who we are, and acknowledging the things we have accomplished. Because I doubt there is a woman watching this who hasn't accomplished something. Even if you said like it's getting that glass of water, doing something for you, you have accomplished something.
Yes.
And take notice of it, take stock of it, and appreciate it. Such a good message. Thank you for sharing that. All right, your second tip, it could get any better. Your second tip, incorporating small, enjoyable routines into your daily life. How does this help with burnout?
Yes, I think it's really overwhelming when you are already in that burnout stage. You're just like, I can't do one more thing. I just want to sit on the couch, veg out, but I can't do that. So really looking at, okay, what's one small change you can make? Because, and I'm saying New Year's because it just happened. It's everyone's mind. Okay, new goals, new things. But really looking at what is one thing you can change. So just to give you context, last year I did a 100-day yoga challenge. I was going every single day because I was incorporating it. I was already a member, and I was like, this is just a small increment that I can change from my daily routine. So I'm going every day. And I noticed a shift in just my energy. My husband noticed a difference in my energy as well. He's like, keep going. But I think it's just looking at how can you shift your time and your energy, even if it's only 5 minutes. So the new thing that I'm doing is having a really solid morning routine. So knowing I'm not changing everything at once, but it's things that I've slowly started to incorporate. So when you are already burnt out and you're like, I can't do anything else, what's one small thing you can do? Maybe it's just meditating for 30 seconds. Because I worked with a lot of people in the past. They're like, I'm not meditating. So looking at, okay, I'm just going to breathe deeply for 30 seconds. It doesn't even have to be a meditation, but just 30 seconds. Can you find 30 seconds? Yes, I think everybody can find 30 seconds. And then move it to 45 seconds, then a minute, 2 minutes, and continue to grow in that. But I think that's where it becomes so overwhelming when you're trying to change too many things at once. So focus on what you are capable of focusing on, one tiny thing right now, and that will help build upon that, because it's just routine and staying consistent. And that's really difficult, especially you're like, I have so much going on, I can't do one more thing. So really looking at what is tangible in those steps, because if you try to change too much at once, it's not going to happen. But really look at those small things.
And even taking 3 deep breaths. Like you said, 30 seconds. You could do that in 30 seconds. You could take, you might be able to get 5 breaths in. I mean, you don't want to be fast, right? You don't want to make yourself more stressed out. But yeah, taking deep breaths just to calm your nervous system down so you can reset and focus. Because a lot of times when we're so busy, we're not even thinking, we can't think creatively. We can't we can't think about the future. We're only thinking about the next step, the next thing that's in front of us.
Yeah.
It's really hard, which brings me to my share, my healthy, delicious lifestyle share, which is no matter how hard it seems, give yourself actual breaks. And I mention this because I have historically, not anymore. I've historically been terrible at giving myself breaks because I can get hyper focused and I can sit at my desk for 4 hours and be like, I'm not going to get up to pee until I finish this thing, like, which is not good for so many reasons. But the thing is, when you give yourself breaks, you actually come back with better ideas. You come back refreshed. You end up being more productive and efficient when you give yourself breaks. And I'm just going to put a little caveat in there. This also is true if you give yourself a good night's sleep.
Yes.
I mean, how do you feel about breaks and like taking little breaks throughout the day? How have you seen that this impacts burnout?
Oh, this is everything. Because when I was a therapist, I was seeing sometimes 12 clients in a day, and I did not give myself a break to go to the bathroom, to eat, even have a sip of water. Like, I will say I had coffee, which was like totally horrible. The pot of coffee was for me real quick. But I think part of that was I just didn't schedule it in. I didn't think it was necessary because I was like, well, I need to get all this done today. And this is the time I have it. These are when I have my clients. And granted, I've learned over time, just like what you said, to highlight it, is really having those breaks allowed more creativity to flow in because my mind was resting. Not even just sleeping, but just resting and not like focused on, okay, I got to get this done. And that's always been my cycle. And a lot of people that I know that are really high achieving individuals where they're like, well, I have so much to do and I can be more productive. But when I have time blocked where I actually schedule it in, time off for myself in between certain things, like knowing, okay, I had the interview today. I have a little bit of break before I have other things going on. So I can just decompress. And I would have never done that years ago. And it is difficult to do, but over time, it gets a lot easier once you put it into practice. But that's like the main thing. And the creativity really does flow in when we take more breaks. That happened in a yoga class the other day. I had the idea of, okay, what is my word or phrase for 2024? And it literally came in so strongly. I was like, oh, okay, because I had time to just decompose.
So good, giving yourself that white space. And for those who are looking for exclusive content, live Q&As, and a supportive wellness community on your journey to functional well-being, I am starting a free Facebook group. It's called the Radiant Living Facebook group. And when you are ready to start digging in, please join us. Oh my gosh. So let me get to the last tip because, we could go on forever. This is all so good. But the Empower Your Healthy, Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine share is trust your senses to know when to stop before your body does it for you. I know you have a story about this. I have a story about this. I want to say as a point to this, stopping is not the same as failing. Yes. Okay. Stopping is not the same as failing because if you don't stop, you could throw yourself further into burnout.
Absolutely. No, that's been my story completely, where I went down to 89 pounds. I'm a very petite person to begin with, but I was so burnt out. My hair started falling out. Thankfully, it's very full now. But all these symptoms that because I wasn't listening to my body to stop, it just kept showing signs with the weight loss, with the hair falling out, with just like even my teeth, in the back molars had cracked from all the stress from clenching. I learned that after a year of like being out of the therapy world and just focusing on coaching. But my body was like, Caroline, focus on what you're not focusing on. And I finally did. I finally was able to completely change my whole health regimen, everything. I stopped drinking. I stopped eating meat again. But that process of just really cleansing my body in a way that was really going to be beneficial for me, and just taking active steps to take breaks and realizing when my body was shouting at me of, okay, you need to slow down. I'm going to really make you slow down if you don't. So that's a big part of it. I think there was just so much going on in my personal life as well, like a bad breakup, a bad roommate situation, getting my doctorate. It was like all these things piled on, but I didn't even recognize my own stress levels because I was just so used to that high stress. But my body had to show me that for me to actually stop. And one thing now I've realized in that cycle is when I am getting really tired or I'm noticing little things, I take a step back. I'm not beating myself up for taking that step back. Just like what you said, you're not failing. It's just taking a break and looking at are my priorities? Am I getting enough water? Am I eating enough? Am I sleeping? Am I moving my body? All of those factors play such a big role in not allowing yourself to hit burnout again, because it's very easy to get back into that cycle. It happened to me twice significantly, but realizing now, even though I'm changing industries, I'm so aware of my body and I'm listening to my gut and my mind at the same time, because my whole dissertation was about the mind-body connection through mindful eating. So I've really adopted that now later on. Hindsight's 2020.
That's so important. Listen to your body before it gets to the point where you have thyroid imbalance, before it gets to the point where stress is pulling calcium out of your teeth and bones and you're seeing all kinds of wear. So important. Dr. Caroline, I could talk to you forever. Thank you so much. Oh, and I should just mention this book, Burnout, for anyone who wants to learn some more about it. Absolutely amazing. I'll put it in the notes. Thank you so much for being here. How can people find you?
Yes, thank you so much for having me and giving me this opportunity to speak to your audience today. So you can find me just anywhere on social media at Dr. Caroline Iscovitz. You can find me there. And then my website is solarallover.com.
Yay! All right, I'm going to put you in the green room, have a mocktail. I'll be right back. Awesome. Oh my goodness, was that not amazing? I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. And I want to remind you, how are you creating a healthy, delicious lifestyle for you today? Until then, join me for another episode of Healthy, Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine next Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific or 11 a.m. Central, and have a healthy, delicious lifestyle. You can learn more about my services and products at ingoodcleantaste.com. Be sure to join me every week on the SWE Media Network YouTube channel and wherever you listen to podcasts.